Today we have Mr. Samit Ghosh, who has visited our campus for the third annual convocation of Jaipuria Institute of Management in Indore. Sir, we welcome you to Jaipuria Institute of Management in Indore. Thank you for coming and sparing your valuable time. Sir, we would be having a very short interview. So my first question to you is, so you have quoted a very nice quote that my ambition was to build an institution which would serve the working poor in India. So you have had a very long and very bright and diversified exposure while working with Citigroup and Muscat Bank. Then why did you choose the unorganized sector like microfinance?
No, the thing is, I've worked in all the varied areas in banking,
Right.
Starting with corporate banking, investment banking, retail banking,
Right.
etc. And we served basically corporates, the affluent or the middle class. But there's a huge population of working poor in India who don't have access to finance. So to me, it were two things. It was a professional challenge to provide financial service to the working poor. That was one of the things which drove me. And the second thing was more emotional, and the way we grew up, that poverty was one of the biggest problems in India, and how do we overcome that problem?
Right.
Poverty. So financial inclusion is definitely one of the key determinants of eliminating poverty. So those were the two reasons. One was a professional challenge.
And other one was the financial inclusion.
Financial inclusion, emotional,
Right.
poverty alleviation, something which I had grown up as a child, So those were the two reasons.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, in Jaipuria Institute of Management also, there's this village called Dakachia where this institute has been situated. So our students do evening schools in Dakachia, where the seniors and the junior students go to the village and teach students. Even students come to our campus and we teach them. So, and other than these also, we do a lot of CSR activities. Sir, what other than this we can do, and what other things which we can also do in order to teach them, or in order to do something for the poor people, for the villagers?
See, I think teaching, especially the young, is very important, because that's what the future of the country is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So to enable them, I heard that you all do some computer lessons, etc.
Right.
To enable them to get ahead in life in education, I think that's very important. And to find out how can they do it, because it should not be that they get these lessons and that's the end of their journey, So I think you've got to find a link for them to get ahead in their education, whether they're school, college or whatever.
So that they get the proper connectivity.
Connect and they get the proper education, The other thing I saw that you all were doing a lot of work on hygiene, built toilets, etc. So I think that's an incredible thing, because last one, we, apart from the business which we do, which is socially, oriented, we have every year, every branch decides on some kind of community development activity. And these are decided by our customers in that area and our staff. But we often give them a direction, And so in the first few years, we used to support a lot of Anganwadi schools.
Right.
I don't know if you can check here if there are Anganwadi schools here for little kids.
There are.
Yeah, so they are very badly equipped,
Right.
So we provided them a lot of educational support stuff for them, Now last year when Prime Minister Modi talked about providing toilets, especially for the girl child, our focus has been entirely on building toilets in government schools,
specifically the females.
For the females, So across the country we've done that, and we've come up with a booklet called My Clean India, and we want to continue that every year, That's a part of the activity which we do apart from our segment.
That's how we can also learn in order to,
Yeah. So you all have done the toilets,
yes.
and
That was a very small initiative.
Yeah.
But what you are saying is very big, and it is a very challenging job to do.
But even if you do a little, everyone does it little bit.
Right. The efforts are which
all combined
right.
that works. So if you can do the toilets for this whole area, every year you add 1 or 2 more toilets.
More toilets.
You know, that will clean up that whole area and provide this.
Sir, we as the budding managers, we also study finance, and apart from that, there is one sector which is very increasingly coming up, that is the rural marketing. So financial inclusion and microfinance is somewhat associated to both the links. So what do you think, what are the qualities we require, we should aspire, we should acquire basically, so that we can do a lot good in this particular field?
No, you know, the thing is, providing financial services to the poor is it's an enormous challenge.
Right.
If it was easy, then the regular commercial banks would have
done it,
right? So there is an issue of how to deliver these services, because these are small, transaction size is very small, the loan sizes are small, the deposit sizes are very small, and there's 600 million people, right? So the volume is very large, right? Yet they want service which is doorstep, which is person to person. Now, how do you deliver that service to them using technology, you know, and still making it a viable proposition? So that is a challenge, you know, and it needs a lot of innovation.
So
and
what
creativity.
are the traits which students should work on in order to get, what are you saying?
You have to be highly innovative,
okay.
You have to be technology savvy,
okay.
You have to be very creative, okay. Yeah, to crack that solution. You know, one of the things we were discussing last evening was, if you go to open a bank account, right, you have to fill up the form, you have to provide your KYC documents. How long does it? Do you have an idea how long it takes the bank to open an account for you?
It takes a lot. When it comes to commercial banks like the regular government banks, it takes a lot. I mean, the KYC thing and the documentation takes a lot of time.
So how many days do you think after you
I mean, as far as my knowledge is concerned, when I was having my loan part, it took me around 1 month to get my loan done.
Loan is okay, 1 month, but you know...
Normal procedures also take 2-3 days, 2-4 days.
Yeah, now our customers demand that if you can't give me a loan within 7 days, I am not interested. Right? So the loan turnaround time has come down to 7 days. Right? But if you want to open a savings account, right? How long does it take? You want to go to a worker? 2 days, right? Okay. Now, if you want to buy a SIM, right? How long does it take?
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay, it might take a slightly longer.
Slightly longer time. I mean, depends. Today the SIM has been excessively available. That's why I just.
Yeah, no, but you know, they still have to go through the process of
filling up the form,
and the KYC documents.
So it takes 1 to 2 hours or 3 hours.
Correct.
Certainly.
So if banks have to serve this segment, they have to move from 2 days to 2 hours.
2 hours.
Right. So that's the challenge.
Right.
So.
Sir, my next question to you is, you have been the Vice President of Citigroup, you have been the Chief Executive Officer of Muscat Bank. Sir, then why Ujjivan Finance?
Because I told you, I felt those two things, you know, at the end of my banking career, I felt I had not done something really meaningful, you know, which impacts the society, okay. So that was one, and the other was a professional challenge, you know. Of what we are talking about just now, you know, that nobody has been able to crack. How do you provide services to the poor and still make it viable, right? So, because I had worked in the whole range of banking services, that was okay. But this service which the society needed and the financial services industry has not been able to provide is something, it was a professional challenge.
Sir, if I talk about Ujjivan is the 16th best employer in Asia and 2nd best in India. And I had a word with Mr. Rajat also, who is the COO. So he was also telling that it is very easy to work with Ujjivan Finance, because the boss for whom we work, it's very easy. I mean, Ujjivan has been the best employer for them. Sir, what does Ujjivan do that the employees are so happy? What is that one secret about Ujjivan that the employees of the company?
No, we run with the principle is simple, is that we are in a service industry, right? And our business, if it has to be successful, our customers have to be happy. And you cannot have a happy customer if your employees are unhappy. Right? So we have to figure out how we make our employees happy. In a way, we have an advantage. We are not selling Coke or Pepsi, right? And as I don't know if you remember that quote from Steve Jobs when he went to hire John Scully from Pepsi. He said, do you want to spend your life selling sugared water, or you want to join me and change the lives of the world? Of people in the world. Yeah. So the kind of work which we do, we see immediate impact. All our staff see an immediate positive impact which happens. And the customers have an enormous amount of respect for us, and appreciation. And that is the kind of job satisfaction you get, and that you can't get anywhere else. So that is our advantage in the industry we work. But we try to do it in a manner from an HR perspective of having an open, transparent, fair, organization. Take for instance, we have ESOP. You're familiar with ESOP?
No.
The executive stock option scheme.
Okay, right. But
our ESOPs are available to everyone in the organization.
Okay, that's wonderful.
It's not egalitarian. It's performance based. Okay. So if you are a high performer and you are a driver, you will get the same multiple of your basic as if I am a high performer. So the quantums are different, but the formula is the same. So we have those kinds of things which are fair, straightforward. Everyone can see it.
Everything is transparent.
So and also simple things like work-life balance. We try to make sure people go home start at 9, leave by 6 latest. They are mandatorily required to take leave. If they work on holidays, they have to mandatorily be given days off. So
these are
all those. Basics are there, all there, and basically internally we have a very giving organization. So if an employee has some emergency, and in India you have so many emergencies, and we are out on the road, right, all the time. They have accidents, they get held up by gangsters, etc. Some of our employees have got shot, especially in UP and other places in Bihar. Not only does Ujjivan provide them, apart from the regular medical support and life insurance, health insurance, even the employees voluntarily contribute to support those employees. Those who are affected. So it is built in. It's natural. People want to support each other.
So it's the environment which affects from one to
so
another.
we just facilitate it. So there's a giving kind of culture within Ujjivan.
Thank you so much, sir. That was Mr. Samit Ghosh, the Chief Executive Officer and the Managing Director of Ujjivan Finance, who had shared so much about the company with us. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the enlightening session. Thank you so much.